Good day, everyone. So the last topic for the midterm is magnesium imbalances. Okay? So kasama po ito sa midterm natin. For this discussion, the learning outcomes are as follows. First, to understand magnesium imbalance. Second, to describe the cause, clinical manifestations, management, and nursing interventions for the following imbalances, such as hypomagnesemia and hypermagnesemia. Plan effective care of patients with following such disorders. So, simulan na po natin. Again, magnesium balance and imbalance. Ang lagi ko pong sinasabi, it is a must for you to know what is normal para malaman mo what is not normal. So the normal magnesium level, according to Brunner and Sudar, in the blood is 1.8 to 3.6 milligrams per deciliter. Anything below is hypomagnesemia and anything above is hypermagnesemia. Okay. If you try to read lots of books, again, magkakaiba po sila. So, dapat nating tandaan na yung basis natin dito ay libro ni Brunner and Sudar. Again, the normal is 1.8 to 3.6 milligrams per deciliter. So, what are the things that we have to know about magnesium? Magnesium is present in the heart, bone, nerves, and muscle tissues. It is the second most important intracellular ion. It assists in metabolism of carbohydrates and protein, and it helps in maintaining electrical activity in the nerves and muscles. Since magnesium yan, just like calcium, kasi again, pag sinabi natin yan ay may apelidong sium, lahat sila ay directly related to each other. It also acts as sedative on muscles. So if you try to go back dun sa discussion natin ng calcium, calcium also acts as sedative sa muscle. Ganon din ang magnesium kasi sium ang kanilang apelido. The food sources are as follows: vegetables, nuts, fish, whole grains, peas, and beans. And magnesium levels are controlled by the kidneys. Just like any other electrolytes in the body na ina-excrete through the urine, ang magnesium din daw po ay ina-excrete by the kidney at iyon po ay sumasama sa ihi o sa urine. Okay, what else? Magnesium causes vasodilation. Vasodilatation, that means widening or relaxation of the blood vessels, which results in una, mababang vascular resistance, pangalawa, mababang BP. Okay, yung dalawa na yon. Kaya nga, if you will try to go back dun sa discussion ninyo ng maternal and child, pag ang pasyente ay pre-eclamptic or eclamptic, para hindi magkaroon ng mataas na blood pressure, kasi vasoconstricted ang vessels, binibigyan ng magnesium because magnesium can cause vasodilation. It relaxes the vascular smooth muscles na tinatawag natin. It stabilizes endothelial function, and it reduces the sympathetic nervous response that may lead to decrease in blood pressure. Kaya again, pag ang pasyente ay preeclamptic or eclamptic na tumataas ang BP, binibigyan po yan ng magnesium para yung constricted na blood vessels ay maging vasodilated. So in simpler term, magnesium relaxes both muscles and blood vessels. Kaya nga again, ang pasyenteng eclamptic na nagbabadya na magkaroon ng convulsion ay binibigyan ng magnesium para hindi magkaroon ng stiffening of muscles, the tonic-clonic seizure, at mag-relax ang kanyang muscles. Because again, magnesium relaxes smooth and the skeletal muscles and even the heart, okay, even the cardiac muscle. So alamin natin, when the muscles or the blood vessels ay nagre-relax, ibig sabihin, nagdadilate din yon, that could lead to lower blood pressure. Okay. Magnesium, the majority of magnesium comes from our dietary intake. Tatandaan po natin yan. Isa ang magnesium sa dapat ay kinakain natin at kasama sa balanced diet natin sa araw-araw. Okay. Now let's talk about hypomagnesemia o hypo, mababa, magnesium imya sa dugo. So, mababang magnesium sa dugo. Don't get me wrong, okay? Iba ang muscle, iba ang dugo. Basta ang pinag-uusapan natin, pag hypo o hypermagnesemia, lahat lang ng level ng calcium sa dugo. Okay, the serum magnesium level is below 1.8 milligrams per deciliter. So what causes it? Diarrhea. Anong nangyayari sa diarrhea? Because the more na nagpupupo, the more na nailalabas ang magnesium. Kasi tatandaan natin, ang ating small intestine, maraming magnesium yan. So the more na may loose bowel movement or increased ang peristalsis at nagpupupo ang pasyente, definitely marami ding mga magnesium na lalabas kasama sa feces. Diuretics, pampaihi, kagaya ng nabanggit ko kanina, na ang magnesium ay nailalabas, excreted through the urine. So pag ang pasyente ay nagda-diuretics o pinapaihi, sumasama yung magnesium. Increase ang dietary intake ng magnesium. Siyempre, saan pa kukuha ang katawan, di ba? Dapat nga kinakain natin, madalas may magnesium. So kung wala yon, there will be hypomagnesemia. Chronic alcoholism, ayun yung araw-araw na lasing. Nakaka-cause ito ng hypomagnesemia. Actually, multifactorial ang dahilan. Maraming factors ang ay dudulot ng chronic alcoholism sa katawan natin. That's why nagli-lead ito sa hypomagnesemia. Poor dietary intake. The more nalasing, the more na hindi nutritious yung kinakain. Diba? The more na may chronic alcoholism, the more na nag-iihi. Because alcohol tends to be a diuretic. So the more na nag-iihi, the more na nawawala. Pag nagsusuka palalo, di ba? Pag lasing at nagsusuka palalo, tandaan natin that the gastrointestinal tract ay mayaman na mayaman sa magnesium. Kaya nga pag iinom ng magnesium ang pasyente, dapat maayos ang gastrointestinal tract niya. Okay, what else? The alcohol itself degrades. The alcohol itself ay sinisira niya ang function ng magnesium sa katawan, so that may lead to hypomagnesemia. Okay, what else? Medications. We have lots of medications that could actually lead to hypomagnesemia. Pwede yan different antibiotics or mga diuretics, mga pampaihi, mga PPIs, mga proton pump inhibitor, such as omeprazole. So, yan, digoxin could also lead to hypomagnesemia. So, dapat pag nagda-drug study tayo, alam din natin at tinitingnan din natin ano yung mga drugs or medications that may lead to hypomagnesemia. Decrease the magnesium levels, increase nerve impulse. Pag meron mababang magnesium, you have to think of not sedated, you have to think of hyperactive. Bakit madaling tandaan? Kasi pareho sila ni calcium. Calcium, magnesium. Kung ang calcium baligtad, mababa ang calcium, mataas ang movement. Ganon din ang magnesium. Mababa ang magnesium, mataas ang movement. Signs and symptoms. Increased muscular irritability, hyperactive yan. Seizure, hyperactive yan. Decrease in deep tendon reflexes, hyperactive yan. Laryngeal stridor, pinag-usapan na natin yan sa calcium. Positive ang Vostex erythrosucine. Bakit? Kasi direct ang relationship ni calcium and magnesium. Now, if you're going to ask me, ma'am, ibig sabihin pathognomonic sign din po pala ng hypomagnesemia ang pathognomonic sign ng hypocalcemia. Tatandaan ninyo that since meron silang direct relationship, maaaring pareho sila ng signs and symptoms. Pero tatandaan din ninyo na bago magkaroon ng Vostex sign at Trousseau sign sa hypomagnesemia, nanggaling yan sa hypocalcemia kasi yaan ang direct ang relationship nila. So therefore, hindi ka magkakaroon ng Vostex sign at Trousseau sign ng basta-basta because of hypomagnesemia. Bago nangyari yon, meron munang root cause which is hypocalcemia. And again, kaya direct ang relationship nila, so pareho sila ng magiging symptoms. There are also changes in ECG. The heart is a smooth muscle. If there's not enough magnesium to sedate it, impaired nerve conduction and muscle spasms can occur. Signs and symptoms, meron rin pong dysphagia or difficulty of breathing. The patient might experience trouble swallowing food. Kahit liquid, pakiramdam nila may palaging nakapakat o mga naiiwan na mga pagkain dun sa lalamunan. Kasi even the muscles of the throat and the esophagus are affected by that increased neuromuscular excitability. Decreased ang GI motility o yung paggalaw ng GI muscles ay decreased din. There is a change in the level of consciousness. Kasi just like calcium na may kinalaman sa function ng brain, syempre ang magnesium din ay may kinalaman sa central nervous system. Diagnostic test, serum electrolytes, urinalysis, kasi sumasama sa urine ang magnesium, and then ECG, kasi merong ECG changes. Treatment, depending on the underlying cause. If the underlying cause is chronic alcoholism, so you have to treat chronic alcoholism first. If it came from different medications, probably pwedeng maghanap ng ibang type of medication that might not lead to hypomagnesemia. Increased dietary sodium, yung mga binanggit kong pagkain kanina. Magnesium salts, para naman madagdagan ng magnesium, and magnesium sulfate IV. Not only IV, but also pwede rin po yung IM. Okay, so para mabigyan linaw pa po kayo, balikan nyo pa po yung mga discussion ninyo sa maternal and child abnormal, dun nyo po makikita yung discussion ng magnesium sulfate. Complications, laryngospasm, same as with hypocalcemia, aspiration due to dysphagia, pinaliwanag ko na yan kanina. And then, arrhythmia, na ipaliwanag na rin po natin yan kanina. Okay, now let's go to hypermagnesemia. This is the serum magnesium level above 3.6 milligrams per deciliter. So since direct ang relationship nila ni calcium, ang hypermagnesemia ay hypercalcemia din. So ibig sabihin, pag hypercalcemia, sedated or hypoactive ang muscles. Kasi inverse ang kanilang relationship, kumbaga. Anong causes? Renal failure. Because sometimes, the kidneys are no longer filtering and excreting the excess magnesium of the body kasi may sira na nga yung kidney. Or sobrang dami naman ng oral intake or IV intake or ginagamot ng hypomagnesemia pero nasobrahan. That's why nagkaroon ng hypermagnesemia. Kaya tatandaan ninyo, pag nagtitreat siya ng hypocalcemia, you also have to watch out for hypercalcemia. Pag nagtitreat siya ng hypomagnesemia, you always have to watch out for hypermagnesemia kasi baka naman nasusobrahan na ng treatment. Different antacid. Bakit? Kasi ang mga antacid natin, such as Kremil S, maraming po yan na magnesium. Kasi kung babasahin niyo yung Kremil S, may magnesium po na content. Same as with yung mga medications natin na antacid, such as milk of magnesia, Maalox, Mylanta, ayan, magnesium citrate, yan po yung mga medications natin na yun. So, pag madalas ka na umiinom ng Kremil S, you are very prone for hypermagnesemia. Signs and symptoms. Since ang magnesium causes vasodilation, and the more na maraming magnesium ay the more na maraming vasodilation, the more na mababa yung BP. The more that there is a facial warmth and flushing. Bakit? The more na ang blood vessels ay dilated, the more na mabilis o maraming blood ang dumadaloy doon. At alam natin na ang dugo ay mainit sa katawan. So there will be flushing of warm feeling sa pasyente because of that blood. Okay? That's why if you could still remember that when you give patients with preeclampsia or eclampsia, magnesium sulfate, you have to watch out for the BURP, the BURP, diba? The B, blood pressure, mababa. The urine output, mababa. Respiratory rate, mababa. And the patellar tendon reflex, mababa. So the BURP, the BP, urine, respiratory rate, and then the patellar reflex. So, isipin nyo lang yon. Yun ay simptomas ng hypermagnesemia. Kasi binibigyan mo nga siya ng magnesium sulfate. So, if makikita mo yun sa pasyente mo, stop, discharge, and refer immediately. Drowsiness to comatose state depending on the severity of the imbalance. Yes, we have decreased deep tendon reflex o yung patellar reflex na tinatawag natin. There might be generalized weakness kasi hypermagnesemia, hypermagnesemia, hypoactive ang muscles. Therefore, there will be generalized weakness. There will be decrease in respirations kasi hypo nga po. There will also be cardiac changes. Okay. Test. Serum electrolytes, ECG. Kasama po yan. Test ay diagnostic tests and treatment depending on the underlying cause. Decrease magnesium salt administration. If an emergency situation, respiratory support may be needed kasi baka magkaroon respiratory depression. Hemodialysis might be done temporarily, not unless sira na talaga ang kidneys. Loop diuretics ang ibibigay instead of other kinds of diuretics. And then, pag sobrang sobrang taas ng magnesium, ang antidote po niya ay IV calcium gluconate. Uulitin ko, at sometimes mako-confuse kayo. Hypermagnesemia, the antidote is IV calcium gluconate. Bakit, ma'am? The more na mataas, the more na magbibigay ka pa ng calcium. Bakit? Basta ang tatandaan ninyo ha, ang antidote ng hypermagnesemia ay calcium gluconate. Bakit ulit, ma'am? Kasi ang pinag-uusapan na po natin dito ay neuromuscular junction and heart function or heart muscle. The more po na binibigyan ng IV calcium gluconate, the more na nagfa-function ang heart. Di ba ang hypermagnesemia, ang nangyayari is hypoactive ang heart. So dapat bigyan mo ng IV calcium gluconate because the calcium will push the heart to pump, to move. So, basta ang giging problema po kasi natin, iniisip nga lang natin na dugo-dugo lang. Ano? Kasi nga sabi ko kanina sa introduction ang minemeasure natin is sa blood. Pero itong IV calcium gluconate na ito, pag binigay natin sa hypermagnesemic patient, hindi na dugo ang labanan. Hindi na measurement ng serum. Hindi na measurement ng blood. Ang pinag-uusapan na natin dito, since ang hypermagnesemia po ay nakaka-cause ng pagiging hypoactive ng heart, bibigyan mo ng IV calcium gluconate. The IV calcium ang magpupush naman sa heart to pump blood. The kaninang hypoactive because of hypermagnesemia. Okay? So, wag malilito po doon. Still, kahit na alam natin na direct ang relationship nila, kasi di ba, habang tumataas yung magnesium at binigyan mo pa yun ng calcium, lalong tataas yan eh. Hindi naman inverse ang relationship nila para mag-away sila. Direct. Habang tumataas ang magnesium, tataas din ang calcium. Pero ang tanong, ba't mo nga binibigay? Kasi, yun nga po yung pinaliwanag ko kanina. Complications, arrest, cardiac arrest, and then hypotension. So, that's the end of the discussion. I will be sending another video for, let's say, a review. Saturday pa naman po ang inyong exam. So, I can actually give you some questions for a review. Okay, just watch this video para hindi po tayo maligaw. Thank you. Bye-bye.